Throughout the history of my YouTube channel, I've sort of gone through phases of various different redstone contraptions that I really focused on. At one point, I was really into combination locks, and then I kind of went through a farming phase. But then at one point, I was heavily into my hidden staircases. I absolutely loved them. I just wanted to build those and absolutely nothing else. That kind of faded away a little bit until now. This week, I have really wanted to build hidden staircases. So over the last couple of days, I've been working hard on the redstone. I've been coming up with a whole bunch of different designs. So let's take a look at them. So design number one is this little thing right here, which is actually, yeah, it's probably one of the biggest designs of the bunch. But as you can see, it makes its way up the wall. And if we flick this lever, all of our stairs pop out and we can make our way up into this hidden entrance right here. Now, before the person writes it down in the comment section, because there is always one person that writes this, yes, I am well aware that you can see it at this point in time. I have chosen to use iron blocks as opposed to the concrete, just as a bit of a demonstration. If you were to try and hide this away, obviously I would suggest using the same blocks for the stairs as you did for the wall. I know that sounds silly, but I always have to explain that. Now, in terms of the redstone behind this thing, is actually quite a simple little circuit. We've got a single piston extender for this one, we've got a double piston extender right here. We don't have to worry about any of these blocks, then we just have another single piston extender, and then this kind of flush piston door up at the top. Now, I have done some funny business to make sure that it fits in this tiny little area, which it is absolutely tiny, just 3 blocks wide, using some observers to actually send the redstone signal up to the top, which works really quite nicely. And as you can see, the entire system itself is pretty fast. I mean, there's no complaints there. For those of you who watch the Hermitcraft series, design number 2 is going to look really quite familiar because this is my 3-wide hidden staircase. Now, I actually built this for my plot in the Hermitron halls for episode 152 of Hermitcraft, and as you can see, when we flick this lever right here, it drops down all of these blocks, giving us a nice staircase. Now, unfortunately, these blocks do not turn into stairs. That would be amazing, but also really quite complicated. For the time being, they are just blocks, but still, this thing is absolutely epic, and I'm really proud of how I've managed to get it to work. I'm going to warn you, this one is going to be a tiny bit more complicated to explain, so just kind of bear with me a little bit here. So out the front, we have got a hybrid double piston extender, and then out the back, we have got a triple piston extender. Now, the triple piston extender, believe it or not, is actually the simplest bit. Because, of course, we're using slime blocks, you can just do this sort of piston setup right here, and that's done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. This part is actually where things get a little bit complicated, because what we have to do is we have to retract these blocks down first so that they're next to the slime blocks, and then we retract this piston right here so that it pulls the blocks down so that they're in this sort of formation going down diagonally. Now let's see if we can see all of that happening really nice and quickly using all of the pistons. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's a slightly strange circuit. Finally, a design that isn't massively complicated or just generally massive. This thing right here is absolutely tiny, and as you can see, it works a little bit differently to the other hidden staircases, in the fact that the staircase itself isn't hidden. This staircase is very clearly visible. You don't want to hide this thing away. What we're hiding is the entrance within the staircase going through the center. So we flick this lever right here and you can see all of the pistons re-extend and all of the stairs are put back in place. Now, fun fact about this one is it's actually a modification of the pillar door that I featured recently. And as I'm sure you've guessed, in terms of redstone, all we have is a single piston extender right there out the front, which does the first set of stairs, and then we have a double piston extender out the back, which handles the second set of stairs and brings them downwards like this. And what we're left with is an incredibly compact and absolutely tiny design, just 3 blocks wide, and it's only 4 blocks across. I mean, that's like pocket-sized. You can fit that anywhere. Now on to something that isn't particularly pocket-sized, but it is very compact for what it does. This is known as the proper hidden staircase, and the reason that I'm calling it the proper hidden staircase is because it actually uses stairs, as you can see right here. We flick the lever, all of the blocks are swapped out, we get a nice staircase going right the way down to the bottom, and you can actually continue this staircase downwards for however long you really want to, which is something that doesn't often happen with hidden staircase designs. There is, however, one fairly big and gaping problem. This hole. This hole right here is something that I only discovered once I'd finished designing this thing. It's a complete oversight by me, but unfortunately, I have used slime blocks right here to do some of the piston extension and retraction that will push these stairs across and then push them upwards, which means that there needs to be space for that. Which means that we need to have this hole right here. Despite this slight design flaw, it is an incredibly compact design, and I'm still really quite proud of it. In terms of how this thing functions and all of the redstone behind it, we have a few block swappers out the front. One of them is like a standard block swapper that you expect to see in hidden crafting benches. The other one is a kind of hybrid system that will only extend the center piston on one side of the redstone input, so when the lever is actually flicked off. Then out the back, we have got this little piston system right here. So you can see that we have got this sticky piston, which pushes across these slime blocks, and also this sticky piston, which will then push them upwards, meaning that these blocks are flush with the floor. And then on the retraction, that piston down the bottom will retract, then this piston will retract, pulling all of the slime blocks back across, which will also pull across these stairs, putting them in line with the staircase. Once again, I hope that made sense. To me, it sounded like just a bunch of words thrown at the microphone. And for the final design of today's video, we have got this old chestnut. Now this whole thing is 3 years old now, and I still can't beat it. Despite all of the redstone changes, slime blocks, we've got observers, we've got entirely new redstone mechanics, I still can't make a more compact or faster version of this staircase right here. And believe you me, I tried. I spent hours the other day trying to beat this thing, and I still couldn't do it. But if we take a look, I mean, one module, it's entirely modular. If you wanted to have one side of this thing, it is just 3 blocks wide, it is just 4 blocks across, and it's just 4 blocks high. I mean, there's not much room. That's probably one of the smallest redstone contraptions I've ever uploaded to my channel. It's absolutely tiny, and it works so fast. Crazy. Now, if you want to see how this thing works, I will put a link to this one down in the description. I would highly suggest checking it out. I explain everything inside that video. Just remember, it is about 3 years old now, so my voice is a tiny bit higher than it is right now. I'm just giving you a fair warning right there. But anyway, moving on from that one, we're going to take a look at how to build each and every single one of these designs right here, which, yeah, prepare yourselves for lots of redstone terminology and just general madness with the red stuff. Design number 1, you're going to need a 3x8 area, and the first thing we're going to do is start laying out where all of the sticky pistons are going to be going. So this level right here is going to be your floor level, and we're going to place in a double piston extender, and then our block right there, that is absolutely perfect. And then we're going to have blocks going across like this, and then this level right here is going to be your wall. Now, a good idea is to map out where all of the blocks are going to be going. So that's going to extend, that double piston extender is going to extend this block to around about here. So then we need another block right there, which we're going to extend out using a sticky piston. So that's going to go right there, and then our wall is going to go across like this, and our wall is going to continue upwards right there, but we need to create the entrance, which is going to be going around about here. Now, the way that we're going to be doing that is a simple 2x1 flush piston door. So that is going to extend out just like that, and that is going to cause our blocks to pop out back there. Part number 1 of this design is to create the double piston extenders down at the bottom. So you want to place some redstone dust next to this sticky piston right here. This block right here is going to be your input, and then you just want to take a redstone output from this thing, and we're going to be running that straight into this block right here. Now next to that, we're going to have a repeater set to 4 ticks, which is going to be powering our bottom sticky piston, and then we're going to take a repeater output that's going to be going into a block with a redstone torch on the side, and we'll be getting onto that in the next couple seconds. But first off, you just want to place some redstone dust, and then we want an upside down half slab above this redstone torch right here with a block like that and a block going across like this with redstone dust and a repeater running into that block. Now that's going to do the second block extension. Then out the side of this redstone torch, we're going to place a dropper with a hopper running back into it, and then you want to place any old item on the inside of that hopper right there. Then we're going to take a redstone output from this block right here, and we're going to take it through this block, into this repeater, into this redstone, and that's going to run straight into the side of this block right here. So if we give this thing a quick tester, we should see that we get the extension and also the retraction as well. Fantastic, brilliant, that's a really good start. Now it is time to hook up this piston right here, and I have to say that's probably the easiest part of this circuit, which is to power that block underneath it. So now we should have a full set of stairs going up towards our trapdoor that is going to be going on up at the top. Now, the way that we hook this thing up is we need to take a redstone output from that thing, and we're going to run it up a little bit like this with redstone right there, and then we're going to take an observer line going right the way up to the top, which is going to be powering this system up at the top right here. All you have to do to make that is place a bunch of observers facing upwards on top of one another. Then we're going to have a sticky piston facing across, and then a redstone block on its face, and you need to make sure that that redstone block is in the correct position. So if these pistons aren't extended, so they're completely flat, then you want these pistons to be extended so they're completely flush with the wall. But then when we flick this lever, we should see that everything opens up, we get all of our stairs, and this thing is functioning perfectly. Excellent. This is working. You have constructed a fully functional wall staircase. Yeah, I really don't know what to call with this thing. For design number 2, you want to get things started with a 7x5 area, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to do the back pistons. So we're going to get things started out the back right here, and we're going to place in a handful of sticky pistons facing upwards just like this, with slime blocks on all of their faces, and then on top of those we're going to have a whole bunch of blocks. So that is going to be the back pistons, the ones that fall down the furthest. That's the triple piston extender. Then we're going to have a double piston extender with blocks on top, and then we're going to have a line of blocks with slime blocks and then blocks on their faces, and that right there is going to create our staircase. That is the staircase. So now we just have to hook up all of the redstone into all of these pistons. Next, you want to head down to this corner down at the bottom and place a block up like this. That block right there is going to be your input. Then you want to create a 2x3 area with redstone dust on either end, and then comparators facing in both directions to create a pulse extender, which we're then going to run out into this redstone line right here. So we've got a redstone torch on the side, then we're going to have blocks going across like this, and we're going to have redstone and a repeater set to 2 ticks running into an immovable object. But first off, you just want to make sure that all of your redstone is powered. So that one's set to 2 ticks. Then we're going to take a redstone line out like this. We're going to run that into this central block right here with redstone and a repeater set to 4 ticks. And then for our final one, we're going to take a redstone repeater output from the pulse extender. That's going to go across like this and up into a redstone torch, which is going to be a block. And then we're going to have ourselves an immovable object up at the top right there. So that should fully construct our triple piston extender. But you want to make sure that this repeater is set to 2 ticks. Awesome. From your redstone input, you want to take a redstone torch output. That's going to be running into this redstone line right here, which is going to have 2 repeaters set to 4 ticks running into this block. Then you want to create a 3x2 area with redstone dust on top of those ones. Then repeaters set to 3 ticks running into each one of these sticky pistons right here. Then we're going to take a redstone output from that line that's going to be going up like this and across into a redstone line that is going to make its way across here. And you want to run a repeater set to 4 ticks running into this piston. Then you want to take out both of these pistons that I actually placed in accidentally, replace one of them with a block, and then place in a block and set that repeater right there to 1 tick. Then on either side of this thing, we're going to place in a redstone line, which is going to power these pistons. So once again, repeater set to 1 tick. And then on this side over here, we want to power that piston right there that is going to be extended upwards. So we just want to place in redstone across like this, and then a repeater, once again, 1 tick into that block right there. And that should be, fingers crossed, everything completed. So we flick this lever and we see that everything extends upwards. That is now completely flush with the floor. And then when we flick the lever again, we get the full retraction as well. Perfect. This design should be a whole bunch simpler. We've got a 3x4 area, and you want to get things started by placing in your input and then some redstone dust right there, and then a block just like this with your sticky piston facing upwards there, and your 2 sticky pistons facing upwards right there, which are of course going to have your stairs on top of them. Then you want to take a repeater output from that block. That's going to be going out into this block right here with some redstone dust, and then a block just like that with a redstone torch on top of this block, a dropper facing across with a hopper running back into it, and then we're going to have a comparator running into this block right here, and on the inside of this dropper you just want to place any old item. Then to do the final extension, you just want to place in a repeater set to 2 ticks. That's going to be running into this redstone dust with a block right there, and that is everything done. So if we grab ourselves some stairs, you can see that there is the extension. If we just line this up with a nice little staircase, then this will give you a rough idea of how it's going to work. But here is the retraction as well. It drops right the way down, and we can pop on through into our secret base. For this design, unfortunately, I am not going to be doing a tutorial on it, simply because I know that this part is really going to annoy people. I just wanted to showcase it to you because, to be honest, I am pretty proud of it. I mean, this is the first design of its type that I personally have done on this YouTube channel. I've never created a 1 wide with stairs hidden staircase, and it's pretty compact. It may not be the most compact design out there. I'm not 100% certain what people are constructing at the minute. I know people get absolutely crazy with the compacting, so I'll have to pop onto YouTube and take a look around. But still, it works nicely and it looks pretty cool. So of course there will be a world download of this world down in the description if you do want to check out some of these designs in a little bit more detail. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.